Good morning again. So this will be your midterm recitation and this will be graded. And I am going to upload this on my YouTube channel. However, only your voices shall be heard. Walang picture or any camera or anumang faces ninyo na mag-appear on the channel. At least meron lang akong documentation for our activities, and this will form part of your 20% midterm grades, guys. You will be given 30 seconds. Okay, 30 seconds lang po muna tayo per student, and you're going to explain your learnings or anything that you've learned from the past presentations or meetings that we had, this midterms, okay? Midterm period. So, we're going to start with our student number 16. Ready?
Record po ba mag-scam?
Yes.
Hindi na po.
Guys, you will be graded 5 points for your delivery and contents. 5 points for the contents and then another 5 points for the delivery. Ayan, talagang pinaghandaan talaga for 10 points, 'di ba? For 10 points. 5 points for your delivery and 5 points for the content. At least, 'di ba? Practice na sa inyo for the industry ito. Let's start the 30 seconds. Ready?
Ready po.
Okay, ready and go.
So today I will discuss what I have learned during the past topics represented by my groupmates in heritage tourism. First is I learned about the other examples of intangible tourism, not only limited to the Philippines but also around the globe. For example of this is the yoga, which came from the India, and the beer culture that is presented in Belgium in the European countries. Also, in the Group 6 presenters, I also learned how to really effectively learn and appreciate the heritage tourism. More likely, as a student like me, I can deliver it and teach to people, like through education, going to the places of the heritage sites like the museums and other venues that will really make me want to learn these new things, and hopefully other people will also learn from that experience itself. Thank you po.
Now let's start calling student number 1. Student number 1, please. Student number 1 in 5, 4, 3, 2,
Sir.
Go.
So what I've learned during all the discussions here, what mostly got into me was the difference of intangible heritage, and it's not only limited to our local. It's there's other cultures that you can see around the world. Like for example, sir, you came from India, and I think it's important that people should know what the difference between tangible and intangible culture are, and also learned about other definition of terms. Thank you, sir.
Time's up tayo. Okay, student number 2. Student number 2.
Yes.
Go.
The things that I learned in our past lessons are, first is the Act 1006. It is an act providing protection and conservation of the national cultural heritage. Second is the intangible cultural heritage. It is an intangible cultural a practice, representation, expression, knowledge, or skill considered by the UNESCO to be part of the places.
Student number 3. Student number 3. Talagang pusod.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, go please.
Yes, I have learned in heritage tourism is that it creates jobs, provide business opportunities, and it helps protect natural resources, improves the quality of life for the residents, and I also realized that the negative impact of the um, heritage tourism is that it puts pressure on the natural resources through our overconsumption of our natural resources po.
Time na po. Thank you.
Student number 5. Ay, sorry, 4. 4. Student number 4.
Sir,
Go.
what I have learned in this subject is the deeper meaning of the Republic Act number 1066, which is an act providing for the protection and conservation of the national cultural heritage and strengthening the National Commission for Culture and the Arts, or the NCAA. And we always want to remember the three P's in Republic Act number 1066 is the promotion, protection, and preservation. Thank you, sir.
Okay na po. Thank you.
Student number 5. Student number 5. And 5. 4.
Sir,
Yes.
sira po yung camera ko, sir.
That's okay.
Okay lang po ba kayo? Okay lang po. Okay. I've learned that protecting our culture to education and supporting the cause can be through research, reading, or traveling. Supporting organizations and government that helps the country to preserve and protect our cultures by preserving through documents and events and campaigns. And there are others more by dito.
Na po.
Sorry,
Student
thank you
number
po.
6. Thank you. Student number 6.
Sir,
Yes.
hindi po gumagana yung mic ko, yung camera dito.
Go.
What I've learned is past lesson is about how to preserve our history, promoting Philippine heritage by preservation and protecting the historic sites. Also, heritage conservation should be the major role by to identify proudly showcase today by reminding people how precious our past has been.
Okay na po.
Thank you. Student number 7. Student number 7.
Sir, nilig na ba ako?
Yes po.
Okay, so what I've learned to this subject heritage tourism is that the tangible cultural heritage, the importance of tangible cultural heritage, and the examples of locally tangible cultural heritage. So I realized that the culture of the intangible heritage is more important factor in maintaining their culture so that they can grow their globalization. And the examples of the locals intangible culture is the food giants in the tagging with flows. Thank you po.
Student number 8. Student number 8.
What I have learned about our past lessons was about the Republic Act number 10066. It was a Philippine law, the Philippine Registry of Cultural Property that was signed into law on March 25, 2009. So the importance of the law was to provide for the protection, preservation, and promotion for the nation's cultural heritage. It preserves the Filipino cultural heritage that give us a purpose and meaning of our style then and now. And I
Okay na
also
po.
thank you po.
Student number 9. Salamat. Student number 9.
Sir, wala din po yung cam ko.
Go.
Things I've learned for the past lessons po. First is I've learned about Historic Preservation Division is the authority on historic preservation of the NHCP, and I've also learned about the heritage mapping, documenting and mapping of our cultural heritage in a way of preserving our culture with the help of technology.
Okay na po. Thank you for that.
Student number 10.
Hello, sir.
Yes, go.
Open up, eh. So, sir, what I have learned in the past lessons is first is the intangible cultural heritage is an important factor in maintaining the rate of growing globalization. And also, I learned how to protect our intangible tourism by researching, reading, and traveling. We must open our senses whenever we visit a place for the first time because protecting tourism helps us to boost the tourism here in the country, and also
Congrats.
Also lang eh, no? Anyway. Number 11. Student number 11. 11. In 5, 4.
Ay, wait lang. Wait lang po, sir. Yung background ko po kasi hindi po na. Sir, ipa-disregard na lang po ng background. Ginamit ko kasi yung Gmail ko sa about tourism discussion that how company manages to recycle or sustain their bottle products. They're trying their best to help the Mother Earth by sustaining it and recycling it. Also, they are contributing to each and every organizations or charity by donating money, which helps a lot of people. It also beer also has a big impact in the life of
Okay na po. Congrats.
Student number 12. Student number 12.
Dito po, sir.
Go.
Okay na. Okay, so one of the many things that I've learned is the importance of the law, the Republic Act 10066. So this law is important because this provides the protection and preservation for the cultural heritage. This also gives us shapes and values and mold and ensure our identity as a Filipino people. So this law is also important because it preserves the Filipino cultural heritage, and it also gives us purpose and meaning.
Okay na po. Thank you. Congrats.
13. Student 13.
sir.
Yes, go.
The things po that I've learned from previous lessons are the law, in the importance of the law in heritage tourism. It protects and preserves po our heritage and culture so that no one can easily destroy and change it the way it was. Next po is yung intangible cultural heritage. Ito po yung mga hindi nakikita at nahawakan, kaya po ng traditions.
Okay na po. Congrats.
Okay, student number 14. 14.
Sir, nandito po.
Yes, go.
So what I have learned in our past lesson is how we protect our heritage tourism. So for protecting this, we can do protecting through education and supporting the cause, preserving by documentation, events and campaigns, and promoting by raising awareness and encouraging dialogue. So the next is the Republic Act, where they aim to provide the protection, preservation, and promotion of
Okay na
nations.
po. Congrats.
15. Student 15, please. One, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, wala. Student number 17. Student number 17.
Sir,
Yes, go.
what I learned during the discussion po is yung una is the Republic Act 1006 na we need to protect and conserve the national culture and heritage no matter what happened. Basta po nakaka-contribute pa rin siya and may purpose pa rin siya sa history. And then the second one po is culture and heritage. Dito po ipapakita na hindi lang product kung maibibigay mo sa client or guest, pwede mo rin po mabigyan sila ng service, tulad na lang po pagpupunta sila sa tulad din po pagpupunta sila sa
Student number 18. 18.
Dito po, sir.
Go.
Good day. What I have learned from the past lessons is heritage conservation. It plays a major role in helping define the identity we proudly showcase today by reminding people of how prosperous our past has been. And the Republic Act 10066, an act providing for the protection and conservation of the national cultural heritage, strengthening the National Commission for Culture and the Arts, or NCCA, and the cultural education.
Congrats.
Student number 19. 19.
Sir, dito ba?
Okay, go po.
So, yung natutunan ko po is the importance of intangible cultural heritage. That is an important factor in maintaining po sa face ng growing globalization, and the culture of Philippines comprises of blended traditional traditions from iba't ibang part ng Asia. And traditions are very important po, for they remind us that we are part of the history that defines our past and shapes who we are today. That's it.
Okay, thank you. 20. 20.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Ayan po. So, sir, I can open po. Ayan. Recognizing the importance of the cultural heritage and traditions represent a critical piece of our culture. Culture is an important part of many people's lives, and it influences views, values, hopes, and loyalties, and the way we take action in today's society. In terms of preserving our cultural heritage by heritage mapping with the help of the technology, promoting by raising awareness in with the promotion of our heritage, and I also about Republic Act 10066, known as the National Cultural Heritage Act 2009.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Congrats. And 21.
Yes, please. Wait lang. Ayan. There is a lot of lesson to tackle in the past meeting. So what I learned is how can we preserve a cultural heritage in the Philippines? What is the significance of preserving our Filipino cultural heritage? A nation, a cultural legacy, and extremely valuable one of the country. Culture and its legacy reflect and define it as a value, belief, and ambition, forming the principal. Congratulations.
Student number 22. Student number 22. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Student number 23.
Sir, ako, sir. Sir, pwede nila ako from ako, sir. Tapos lang train ko, sir. Kung ako nakaligo. Kaya, sir.
Go.
Okay, sir. What I learned about heritage I learned about cultural heritage has been defined as all the belief, value, practices, and objects that give a place its own specific character with this. The importance of heritage conservation cannot be overstated. In sustaining the value, meaning, and significance of cultural resources from the past, for the use of the present, inspiration of the future generation. And about the Republic of
Congratulations.
Student number 24.
Sir,
Go.
um, the importance of the law is the cultural heritage because it's very necessary for all of us, the people, to know the limitations and boundaries to maintain and protect the different heritage tourism we have in our country. That law becomes a tool for all of us to think before we act, to avoid the consequences of our actions.
Student number 25. 25.
Sir,
Yes po.
the things that I learned are the culture of the Philippines comprises a blend of tradition Filipino and Spanish Catholic tradition with influence from America and other parts of Asia. The second is Republic Act number 10066. An act providing the protection and conservation of national cultural heritage. And lastly, the third one is an intangible cultural heritage is a practice, representation, expression, knowledge, or skills considered by UNESCO to be part of places' cultural heritage.
Okay na po. Thank you. Congrats.
26.
Sir, hindi to po. Sir, hindi po maka-open ng... So, the things that I have learned from our past lesson po is the heritage under the Republic Act number 10066 includes the art galleries, historical libraries, monuments. The other one is intangible. It's a representation that was considered by UNESCO. Thus, in protecting Filipino heritage, the UNESCO declares approach is tangible for
Congratulations.
27. 27, guys.
Dito po, sir. Nandito po. Okay, one of the things I learned from the previous topics is how our Filipino heritage is protected with the help of different heritage programs and organizations in protecting and preserving our cultural heritage, one of which is promoting by raising awareness and encouraging dialogue with the use of blogs and social media posts and letting people know about a certain place by posting their reviews, feedbacks, and stories about their experience and encouraging them to visit the place. Also, through participating in festivals and promoting them when having gatherings and socializing with people.
Number 29. Number 29. Yes. Go. Technical problem. Baka naka-off yung...
Hello po.
Okay, go.
In the overall, not only the government will do the things, but also there are ways for us to help the government in conserving our cultural heritage, like researching and reading some articles that about the past and also traveling to the places that has linked in the past. Another is creating some blog and post it in the social media, because protecting our heritage is not only a beauty or a semblance of the past for its historic significance, but also for its potential to increase income.
Thank you po.
Thank you, sir.
30.
Sir, wait lang po, sir. Lagyan ko muna start yung oras.
Go.
Wait lang. Ayan. What I have learned in the previous presentation is that the group 4 presented and explained the Republic Act number 1066 as our own heritage. That's how it shows that heritage tourism plays a valid role in each country. By my group, the topic intangible cultural heritage and how beautiful the beliefs, traditions, and their culture, local and foreign. The group 6 presented how to preserve and protect our heritage via media or by an organization. And as a student, we can protect our own heritage just by learning it and share its importance. Thank you very much.
31.
Thank you.
31. Student number 31. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Student number 32. Yes, go. Student number 32.
The intangible cultural heritage is we practice conservation on our culture, and we have a vast knowledge on culture, traditions, and customs that is going through a period of time. And now it shows our legacy by still doing these practices. No, thank you.
Student number 33. 33.
Yes. Through our report, I've learned about the steps on how Filipino heritage is protecting through education like researching, reading, or traveling. We must open our senses whenever we visit a place for the first time, to absorb whatever information we can, and to experience them through our travel encounters. By researching and reading also, we will have an idea on how to protect, promote, and preserve our cultural heritage.
Student number 34. 34.
Question, sir. In the previous lesson, I learned that the importance of law. This law is important because it preserves the Filipinos' cultural heritage, and also it is meaningful in our lifestyle. It showcases our belief, and also the traditional cultural that give us a form, and the aspiration has ensured that identity or as a Filipino. Thank you po.
35.
Hello po. So, good morning. The heritage tourism is described as traveling to experience the places, artifacts, and activities that represent stories and people from the past. So, another thing is intangible cultural heritage is also important because this gives us our sense of identity and belonging and relating ourselves from our past through the present and our future. There are a lot of ways on how to promote heritage tourism, such as the internet, like blogs, social media posts, participating in festivals and promoting them, and also by informing the people. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Sir, si number 28 po daw nalagpasan.
Number 28.
Opo.
Yes, can we have number 28, please?
Yes, boss. So, good morning, sir. I have learned that there are two types of intangible cultural heritage according to the UNESCO, the local and the foreign. Example of local intangible cultural heritage is the hood of the Ifugao community. They practice this during the harvest season, wakes, or funerals. For the foreign intangible cultural heritage, one example is the yoga, which was considered as an ancient practice in India. Heritage helps us know our history and identity in a deeper level, which makes it more valuable and important to protect and preserve, which led to the creation of a public.
Congrats.
Thank you. Student number 36. 36.
I think that I learned during the previous discussion the importance of promoting our heritage, of educating ourselves by promoting it in the use of social media and culture. Another thing that I have learned is the example of tangible cultural heritage. One of this is religion. I think it's something that we should do now that we are independent, because it will really help us to be not just physically but also spiritually and mentally. And I think it will really help us to manage our stress and anxiety as well.
Bongga. Number 37.
Good morning po. So what I've learned in the subject is how can we preserve cultural heritage in the Philippines. According to the UNESCO, there are two approaches to preserve cultural heritage. One is to record it in intangible form and conserve it in archive, and the other is preserve it in a living form by ensuring its transmissions to the next generation. Thank you po.
Number 38. Yeah, 38. 38.
The things that I have learned, sir. The things that I have learned from the discussions are, first, the intangible cultural heritage, which is mainly about beliefs, traditions, rituals, and knowledge, unlike intangible cultural heritage, which is mainly about physical artifacts. Next is how to preserve our cultural heritage. First is to record it in tangible form. Next is to preserve it in a living form. Thank you.
Student number 39. 39.
So, a heritage
Go.
Heritage conservation talks about all the processes in maintaining the cultural heritage. An effective conservation requires a better understanding or a better appreciation in heritage assets, in both tangible and intangible assets. And by preserving our heritage, by heritage mapping, going to talks, events, and campaigns, and giving deeper information and spreading awareness to all ages nowadays, and using the modern technology, it's very helpful. And by studying the heritage tourism.
Student number 40.
Yes, sir.
Yes, go.
What I've learned during the past discussion in the midterm period is the Republic Act number 1006. It is mandated to establish and maintain through appropriate cultural agencies and local governments. When it comes to the importance of law, it aims to provide the three P's, which is the protection, preservation, and promotion of cultural heritage. It is also important to preserve our cultural heritage because it provides us knowledge about what happened in the past, and we can read it and enjoy knowing it because these artifacts are well preserved in the Pacific. Thank you.
Thank you.
Student number 41.
Sir, nervous.
Yes, nervous. Go.
In the past group presentation is what is the actual meaning and definition of Filipino heritage. Then what is the meaning of the acts? For example, what is the purpose of the Public Act 10066 is to maintain and to preserve, also to promote our natural heritage. And the Historic Preservation Division, also known as HPD, which is to collab and to coordinate with the other sectors to protect our historical sites. For example, collaborating with DOT or sustainable tourism.
Okay na po sa
nervous.
Nervous. Student number 42.
Yes po, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I've learned first the importance of cultural diversity. It is the set of cultural group of the society. So, ibig sabihin po, even though we have different culture with different tradition or values, it is not right to discriminate other people just to make you feel superior. We should love each other, recognize, and understand each other differences because we're all equal in God's eyes and we are all living in the same islands, which is the Philippines. So, there should be no room for hate. Second po is the Republic Act 166. We should know how to protect our cultural heritage because
May makeup ka, may hikaw, magandang pusod mo, nakangiti ka always, etong score mo.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Student number 43. Student number 43.
Sir.
Yes, go.
Sir.
Oh.
Good day, everyone. I am Kimberly Tablada, and what I learned is intangible heritage. Those people had their own reason why they do this kind of tradition. It came from the generation that passed came from the ancestor that passed through generations. It has different meaning, but the thing that we can do is respect, love, and accept their traditions because it symbolizes their community, their skills, and their personality. We had a lot of differences, but we should respect each other because we are as one, and we born to be wild.
Born to be wild, nervyos. Ano yun?
Joke lang, eh.
Okay, student number 44. 4, and 5, 4, 3, 2. Student number 45. 45.
Apo, sir. Ay, naku, sir.
Ha? O sige, si 44 na, nandiyan na pala siya. Go, si 44 na. Go.
I've learned in last presentation is that first is RA 1066, which is this act is nagpo-provide ng pagpo-protect, conserve, preserve sa nations of cultural heritage by ensuring is the transmission of the next generation, and also the benefits of it is nabubus yung awareness sa turista and nape-preserve yung local traditions natin. Yun lang, sir. Thank you.
Student number 45. Ito, sure na siya.
Good morning, sir. What I've learned about heritage tourism, the National Cultural Heritage Act, officially designated as Republic Act number 166, is a Philippine law that created the Philippine Registry of Cultural Property and took other steps to preserve historic buildings that are over 50 years old. It was signed into law on March 25, 2009. This was all about the law aims to protect, preserve, conserve, and promote the nation's cultural heritage.
And I?
That's all.
Thank you. Student number 46. 46.
Sir, hindi rin po ako makapag-on-cam, sir.
Good morning. During the midterms, I learned about the tangible and intangible tourism, cultural heritage such as monuments, landscapes, works of art, and artifacts of one country, and intangible tourism such as festivals, cultures, different traditions, and their languages. By this, tourists were not just visiting here just to see beautiful places, but they also like how locals treat them like they're part of their family. There are also some laws passed to preserve and protect our national heritages in the country, like RA 166 or the Philippine Cultural Heritage Act.
Okay na po, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, ano po,
Yes.
yung iba po kasi kanina, ano po, nawala po sila ng net. May mga estudyante po na pumasok lang ngayon. Kaya po, naulan po kasi siguro, sir, kaya po naapektuhan yung internet connection sila. Patawag na lang po yung mga hindi pa naka-recite.
I think
Baka
it's,
po nandito na po sila.
I think it's student number 15.
Kung ano.
Student number 15,
Tapos
1, 5.
po,
Diba? And 5, 4, 3.
meron din po si Jimenez din po, nandiyan na po ata siya.
Student number 22. Wala pa rin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Student number 31. Student number 31. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay guys, that is the final midterm. 20% of your total portal grade. Stop na natin ang ating recording. Documentation.